Hello, weary travelers, and welcome back to the Temple of Kung Fu. As always, I'm your host, the Shaolin Kid, and tonight's tale is The Legend of the Black Scorpion, also known as The Banquet, released in 2006. It is a Shakespearean wushu tragedy, right? Loosely based on the Shakespearean tragedy of Hamlet. This film is starring Zhang Ziyi, and I believe that is the only name I recognize slightly. And this film, while it is very... I'm just going to jump right into it. This film is very... I want to say very well made. It's a very pretty film. It's very beautiful looking. The shots are very nice. The kung fu that's in the film is really like, it's not like your average kung fu film. Like, this is not an action film at all. This is definitely a drama, tragedy type deal, right? So obviously the action is more choreographed. It's more obviously kind of beautiful looking. It's kind of like they're dancing in a way, you know, kind of like that. It's not like in your average kung fu flick where they're just kicking each other, throwing each other around, you know, stuff like that. Because this film, I do think, is enjoyable. This film is very enjoyable. I very much did like it. But yeah, this film is obviously not going to be for everyone. It is slow-paced. It takes its time. It doesn't jump around. Some people might say that it might drag on a little bit. I personally didn't think so. To me, it kind of flew by because, I mean, I'm a huge fan of tragedies. I really like those kind of films. I can really get into them because I really like, like, usually Shakespearean stuff is, like, the characters and their motivations, and, you know, I really like Shakespearean style stories, and obviously this being a loose adaptation of Hamlet, probably one of the most well-known and popular Shakespeare tragedies. I really do think that, I mean, one of my favorite movies ever ran is like, it's a direct adaptation of a Shakespeare story, so of course I'd like this one. And honestly, I really liked how just the film really, like, pieced it all together. Like, it really had a good, like, end. I really liked the ending of it, because really this film doesn't really have, like, a hero, kind of, you know? Like, nobody is, like, all good and all bad, right? Like, it's hard to explain because these characters are, like, they're a lot deeper than just I'm the bad guy and I'm the good guy, right? They all have their problems, you know, some more than others, but they all have problems and flaws. And that's something I like about these kind of stories, is that, like, it's not all black and white, you know? It's like there's gray area a lot, and I like it. Because there's a certain point to the film where you can't even really see, like, who the main bad guy is, or, like, bad guy, you know, kind of, I guess, to say it like that, or, like, the antagonist is somebody that you wouldn't expect at first, right? And she's probably the most evil person in the movie, even though the Emperor himself, you suspect him to be the bad guy at first, or, like, the antagonist, but he's not good, but they insinuate that he killed the Emperor, his brother, to get power, but he didn't. It's then implied that the Empress killed the Emperor so that the uncle could get in power. Then she would kill him so that she could be the one and only ruler, and she could rule over, like, the kingdom, I guess. And, I mean, that's, like, you don't expect that at first. Like, she seems like she's not that bad at first, but then, like, you can see her motivations, and you can see, like, her, being, like, kind of slithering her way through things, you know, like a snake in the grass, you know what I mean? Like, you can see what she's doing. And it's ironic by the end of the film, because she's the last one who dies, right? She's the last one who dies, because obviously being a tragedy, everybody has to die, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have a tragedy without everybody dying. And one thing I like about her death, which is probably one of my favorite parts of the film, is when she's like, kind of like, oh, I'm finally the ruler, I get to ascend to the heavens. She's kind of like bigging herself up, kind of talking to herself, and then, boom, she gets stabbed, right? Somebody throws, like, the prince's knife through her chest, right? And they never show who killed her. They're out of frame. We never even see them. And that's what I like. It leaves it up to interpretation. Was it just an assassin who had a similar knife? Did they get the sword on that knife? Did they get the sword from the prince, or was it the prince? Did he not die? Did he come back to kill the empress because she was mad with powers? Is that what he did? We don't know. And it's left up to interpretation. And I like that. I always like interpretation. I like vague endings. So another thing that might insinuate that it's somebody that she knew is she turns around and, like, she makes, like, a look on her face and she points at them. And then she dies. But they never, as I said, they never show who it is. So it could be the prince. It could not be. It's just, like, it implies it's, like, not a random, because if it was just some random assassin, she wouldn't look at him the way she did. So who killed her? We never know, and I like that, because then they throw the sword in this little pond thing, or this little, like, water thing, and then the movie just ends, like, shot of the pond. And yeah, really like the ending, really like the interpretation that it allows, and I really like how basically it kills every central character at the end, because, as I said, it has to. It kills every central character. And overall, I just really enjoyed the film. And obviously, tragedies like this are not for everyone. As I said, they're long, they're slow-paced, they're very dialogue-heavy, right? These films, you really have to be paying attention, you know, to what the characters are saying and their motivations. Yeah, it's just kind of any drama, really, is very dialogue-heavy. So, yeah. But honestly, I would definitely recommend this film for... like, fans of, you know, wushu, because there's obviously wushu things in there. I would definitely recommend it for Shakespeare savants, or people who are just fans of tragedies, Shakespearean-esque stories. Definitely recommend it for just, you know, kung fu fans, because even the kung fu in this film is really, really solid and really well put together, like the rest of the film. And overall, I just had a good time watching it. I had a very engaging time with it, and I hope you will too. And overall, I think I'd rate it a 7.5 out of 10. And yeah, I think it was fair to say thanks, guys, for stopping by the temple. I really appreciate the support. And yeah, hope you guys like this video, share with friends, subscribe, turn notifications on, comment down below and make sure you liked it. And as always, I've been the Shaolin Kid. Buddha be praised. Actually, there was no freeze frame ending, so I can't do that. Well, anyway. And I've been the Shaolin Kid. Off to usurp the throne. You know what? Freeze frame ending anyway. Oh! Wait.